thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about this City Changer cargo bike project. It's a Horizon 2020 project. And before I start talking a little bit more about the project, next slide, please. This is actually the reason basically why my colleagues and I started to do these kind of cargo bike projects already in 2010. Actually, this is our third last large European project on cargo bikes. Next slide, please. Because we really believe that we shouldn't accept that our cities are basically given over to cars. That we are losing valuable space and that we are basically polluting our cities. And we know that cargo bikes are climate friendly. The last 10 or 12 years have definitely proven that. They are saving our space in the cities, but they are obviously also a healthy transport option, but they're doing something else actually. Next slide, please. They are also making our cities much more safer. So you have this situation often in Europe, or at least in Austria. Somebody is killed, a biker by a van, and then everybody starts to talk about technological solutions in these large lorries. But next slide, please. Cargo bikes really here also the solution because they don't have a blind spot. So for all these reasons, we really started with these projects, as I said, already in 2010. Next slide, please. And here I just listed a few of the benefits and the potentials really of cargo bikes. So I've already mentioned they're obviously saving emissions, they are healthy, and they are improving lives in general, but also there's an incredible potential to shift these trips. And also already in our first project, we realized that, and that's, I think, a very conservative calculation actually, that more than half of the trips, the transport trips in cities, and these are private and commercial trips, could be shifted from cars and vans to these bicycles. So let's have a look at the next slide, which shows us the situation in Copenhagen, where basically every fourth family with more kids has a cargo bike. And this shows us a little bit the potential. Even in Copenhagen, there's a potential up, but in the rest of Europe, which is quite incredible. So we do think, next slide, please, that cargo bikes should really be considered as the new SUVs for livable cities, but also, as Beres has shown us, not only in the private sector, there is an enormous potential in the commercial sector. So let me start with the few points about the project. Next slide, please. As I said, this is a Horizon 2020 project that has started in 2018 in September and has been extended twice. Also partly because of the pandemic, obviously. And the aim was basically to improve the quality of life in our cities, or to show how this is possible by using a whole catalog of measures and activities that have in previous projects been shown to be really effective, or the most effective to promote the use of cargo bikes. So next slide, please. We have an enormous amount of city partners. Actually, we had 15 city partners, and we have several other partners that are large associations like the European Cyclists Federation, the ECLF, and Copenhagenize, and so other partners that help us to move this project forward. So what's really maybe noteworthy at this point is to have a look at the enormous geographical distance or distribution of these partners across Europe. And it's quite amazing. And you have to keep in mind that obviously Varna in Bulgaria has started from a very different point than, for instance, Oslo and Gdynia, other than Lisbon, etc., in this project. Nevertheless, there were fantastic results in really basically all of the cities. So let's have a look at the next slide, where I will, these are the measures, or a selection of the measures that I want to show you today that we have been working on. In principle, almost every city has implemented over 10 different measures and activities, but today I just show you a selection of the most important ones, I guess. So these are subsidies, obviously, and tax incentive. Those are cargo bike sharing and rental and tryout schemes. And the last section is regulations and infrastructure.